Right on time. Okay, now I'm late. What's up? Welcome to the stream. I have a silly sticker on my head. I will explain what that is if anybody asks. But until then, it is time to play Pokemon. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to talk about politics because holy shit, have there been politics to talk about. Let's open this up. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay. So, what you're seeing here is a preview of what you can expect from the game I'm about to play. Sorry, my picture is blocking what's in the top left there, so I'll show you. That's a Beedrill. Very very cool indeed. This is a little game called Pokemon Emeralds 8. It is a ROM hack where there are a couple of fun, nice quality of life changes, but one of the more interesting things that they did was that your party of Pokemon can now consist of 8 members as opposed to just 6 in the regular games. So here in this playthrough, this was the first time I played this game. I had a couple of repeat types. I think I had I had Beedrill, Houndoom, Machamp, Golem, Ampharos, Sceptile, Dragonite, and Pelipper. Actually, I think now that I look at it, there's only one repeat type, which is I had Flying twice, which is actually fine. So I'm going to be playing this game. I don't think I want to eliminate all my save data. I might just make a copy of this ROM and put it in a different folder. Maybe I will. Yeah, here we go. I'll do something like this. I will. No, actually. What do I do? Emeralds 8. I don't really want to delete that save game, I think. Or do I? No, it's probably fine to delete that save game. So let me open this on up, Emeralds 8, and I'm going to select. Yeah, clear all save data areas. Let me actually enable the sound on. There we go. Now you guys can hear what's going on. Very nice. There won't be any music playing for these streams, for the Pokemon streams, because there's in-game sound. They're all save data? Yeah. I'm going to do that. Start. Option. Alright, very good. We have the options here. Everything looks pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the vanilla text window. There's something that looks similar, but is like a little bit different colored. I kind of like that. Let's go with that. There we go. New game. What's up, Professor Birch? Oh, and by the way, because this happened recently, I have 3, count them, 3 follows that I want to shout out. Open Brian, Mouthface69, nice, and Flicky SP. Thank you all so much for the follow, for the follows. I don't know whether or not they're going to be main fixtures of the stream, but that doesn't matter too much. I like the fact that there are people that care about what I do enough to follow and drop in on occasion. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Alright, so we know how this goes. This is the intro to Pokemon Emerald. I don't know if I've actually played a Pokemon Emerald game or ROM hack on stream before, so I guess for people who have never played Pokemon Emerald, this might be a little bit of a introduction, but I highly doubt that anybody out there is familiar with Pokemon and also has never played Pokemon Emerald. It's one of the most popular games in the series. And you are. Once we get done with the introduction, I'll dive a little bit more thoroughly into politics, because there have been some significant developments in the Middle East that I think warrant talking about, that everybody is talking about right now. Here, actually, I will even edit the stream info to add, instead of the English tag, I'm going to add the Palestine tag. Right? Yeah. No, that's kind of dumb. I'm not going to do that. I already have a lot of tags on my video, or on my stream, so. Yeah, okay. My name. What is my name? Well, you guys know what my name is. Let's do that. That's me. That's right. Moving to the hometown of Littleroot. Are you ready? Your very own adventure is about to unfold. Leap into the world of Pokemon. Alright, how nice. You know, I had another idea. I think after this, I want to play vanilla Pokemon Pearl. Not even a ROM hack, just regular old Pokemon Pearl. Because I had a fun experience with that game that I would like to talk about. But not right now. I'm playing Pokemon Emerald. Emerald's 8, in fact. We're home. Nice. I rode in the moving truck, and somehow did not get all my bones crushed. Go inside. Beginning of Pokemon Emerald. It's pretty standard. Room is upstairs. This is the only game where you actually have a dad that is like present in the game, which is funny. The Generation 3 games. The clock has stopped. Better start it. All right, let's go PM. And it is right now. It is 1:35. That's right. You know, I remember with Pokemon Emerald, I would always get the message when I booted up on a Game Boy that the internal battery had run dry, but I could still play the game. Unfortunately, this meant that I couldn't 100% it without Game Shark. But, you know. Let's withdraw the Ooh! I was gonna say withdraw the obligatory potion, but it seems like there's some other event items in there. TV. And now with that out of the way, I think the introductions are all good and set in stone. You guys know what's going on. This is a Pokemon game. This is Pokemon Emerald, in fact. And I will start talking about politics. To which end I have the Al Jazeera live update page open for Israel, Palestine, and the situation in the Gaza Strip. Yeah. What happened recently was, actually, and by recently, I mean literally last night. This happened while I was sleeping at like 3 in the morning. The Hamas militants took advantage, I think, of the fact that it's like it's a Jewish holiday or something, and they launched a bunch of rockets into Israel, and they actually started invading. Believe it or not, like Hamas militants in like pickup trucks and stuff rolled across the border, and they started. Well, I mean, invading. It was a proper military invasion with what few resources are available to a you know, Islamist terror organization that doesn't have the official support or resources of any nation state. As much as people like to say that Iran is involved, it's like, what is Iran gonna do? But that's besides the point. What ended up happening is, well, a bunch of bad stuff. Let's not kid ourselves. Some really bad shit happened, and is happening currently. There's all sorts of videos circulating around of the militants doing horrid things to civilians and stuff, and generally sort of doing the things you would expect a radical terror organization to partake in. You know, I think it's pretty much par for the course. But the part that worries me the most is that this is going to be used as pretext by Israel to effectively bomb the Gaza Strip into rubble and commit mass genocide against Palestinians, more so than they already have, and you know, to such a degree that would be like, I don't know, previously unthinkable potentially, which is a horrifying prospect. You know, for quite a while now, the Israel-Palestine conflict has been like, sort of simmering just below the surface. Things have been simmering and all that, and it seems like finally now the other shoe has dropped. And kind of on one level, I'm amazed that it took so long, but now I'm actually worried about what has happened, or what is going to happen now that the other shoe has, actually dropped, you know, that poses some issues. What do we have? What's going on? Human cost of Israeli assaults on Gaza. Yeah, there's been a lot of civilian casualties, mostly the fault of Israel, but also, like, Hamas's hands are not clean either. And I don't think they care, because it's Hamas. Palestinians care. They care immensely, because they are some such civilians. However, that's what all goes on, I guess. And actually, what I want to do is sort of take stock of what Pokemon are available in each area. Oh, this probably doesn't have a good nature, does it? Modest, yeah. Okay, I'll change that in, like, a hex editor or something. Not a huge deal. Hehe. My epic move. Not Pokegen. I'm gonna go to PK Hex. Aha! I'm a silly, silly cheater. Great shortcut. What's the shortcut here? Yeah, look at that. It's probably going to be an update, I'll bet. Yeah, seems so. Okay, I'll do this real quick, and then I'll do a I'll do the update there. Let's see, where's Emerald's 8? Save. Emerald's 8. Very nice. Party. Yeah. Adamant. Very good. That's... sure. You give it some defense. Very nice. Uh-huh. And export save. Yes, sir. New update available. I will download that. Updating my PK Hex program on stream. And replace. Let me test this shortcut if it still works. I'll bet it does. Run anyway. And Eureka, it works. Alright, awesome. Let's go back into the game. Load the save. Very good. Okay. Now Ivan is the ideal version of himself. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Was I gonna continue on with? Yeah, there's civilian casualties happening in Palestine, which is crazy. I mean, it's not unthinkable from the perspective of what's been going on there historically. A lot of Israeli civilians have died. A lot of Palestinian civilians have died over time, but it seems like this is inciting event. Medical sources in Gaza... Oh, this is just from today. Medical sources in Gaza say at least 198 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks launched after a Hamas offensive against Israel that killed at least 100. The group running the besieged enclave said its surprise large-scale operation was in response to the desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque and increased settler violence. That doesn't surprise me too much. It's critical to mention that none of the horrible things that we have seen over the past several decades, ever since before my parents were even born, in Palestine at the hands of Israel, would be happening if there was no Israel, if there was no settler colonial state there, or if things had been resolved much more peaceably and with more concessions from the Israeli government. Were they only willing to, swallow their pride and concede that, yes, Palestinians are in fact people and whatnot. But as it stands, that's not the reality we live in. We live in the reality where Israel has been run more or less by I would say by fascist, but really it's like whoever's running Israel, they're always fascist on the question of whether Palestinian people should have rights or not. So that's, you know, that's what's what, basically. This is going to give Israel a pretext to complete the genocide that they started. The only thing that could stop Israel at this point, unfortunately, it seems like is the United States. The United States is basically the sole reason that Israel is the economic and military foothold and powerhouse that it is in the Middle East. The U.S., I think, should be willing to use that leverage over Israel to prevent them from killing Palestinians en masse. But we haven't done that because strategic interests for both countries or something like that. Yeah, I got a Pokedex. And some Pokeballs. I don't think I want to use Tyrogue in this playthrough because I'm already going to have Ivan as a fighting type. Yay, I got the running shoes. How fun. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this situation, on Israel-Palestine situation. Oh, what's this? An Israeli politician says that the Israeli occupation is responsible for the death toll. Member of the Hadash party and the Israeli Knesset, Ofer Kassif, says while the killing of civilians on both sides was condemnable, it was Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories and the actions of the Netanyahu-led government that was responsible for the deaths of Israelis and Palestinians. It is unbearable, but what we are saying is the only way to prevent such crimes on both sides is to end the occupation. As long as the occupation goes, it's an Arab party? Oh, okay, gotcha, thank you, Padishah Emperor. Also, welcome to chat. As long as the occupation goes, such terrible crimes will continue, and this government wants that, he says. Kassif also criticized the U.S. government, saying that if it had pressed Israel to move towards a peaceful political solution and to end the occupation, events such as today's would not have happened. I don't know if I've ever agreed with a politician more than this guy right here. It is certainly the case. Everything that he said, from the Israeli occupation being the primary source of all of the terrible things that have happened, whether it be from preemptive action by Israel or reactive action from Hamas, which Hamas is horrible and highly condemnable in that respect. I don't condone anything that they're doing. Are you idiot? No. I will now continue. The resolution here cannot be, like, no resolution is going to be achieved here unless the Palestinian people exact some sort of concessions from the Israeli government with respect to land rights. Have you seen what happened? Yes, actually, I have. I watched it unfold. Not live, but a few hours after the fact. I was asleep when this happened. Hamas initiated this invasion. There is no question about that. You know, they killed Israeli civilians. However, this is going to be used as a pretext by Israel to basically level the Gaza Strip, where about 5 million, I think, civilians live. There's no innocent person in Gaza. Yes, genocide apologia. And now, you, my friend, are going to be banned. Sorry. I do not allow genocide apologia in my chat. You can do a lot of things, but that is not one of them. Good riddance. Thanks for checking out the stream. However, the likes of you are not welcome here. Anyways. The situation is very difficult. I outlined this when I was reviewing the debate between Destiny and Lonerbox, where I think Lonerbox came off as by far the more reasonable party there. You know, although obviously I don't think either of them could really have foreseen exactly the events that would transpire today, or last night, or whatever the case may be. the Israeli government is not going to be willing to swallow their pride here and concede land from settlement efforts back to the Palestinians. So really what's probably going to happen is Israel is going to, unless somebody in the international community steps up and actually makes some meaningful effort to stop them, they're going to bulldoze the Palestinians and Hamas and basically accelerate the genocide that they've already been carrying out for the past 70, almost 80 years. It's going to be really ugly. It's going to get really ugly really quickly. As if it wasn't already, you know. Of course, the counter to that is that Israeli settlers in the region, as much as they are shitheads for participating and knowingly taking advantage of the system that lets them exploit Palestinians, those people are still civilians. They should be not in Palestine. The people who specifically move there to settle, those are people that you could probably, from a policy making perspective, you could probably be comfortable kicking out new settlers, people who just settled there, who moved out of a home they previously had. But for people who had been born there, or families who have kids that were born in the occupied territories and raised there, it's going to be a lot more difficult to determine a course of action. Most likely what's going to have to happen is there are going to have to be internationally sponsored housing projects or whatever. And Israel is going to have to cede land to Palestine in the occupied regions while still enabling people to live there and have Israeli citizenship or whatever. And, eliminate all the checkpoints. I think eliminating the checkpoints is a very, very obvious, very easy solution. Freedom of movement is one of the biggest and most egregious and most flagrant violations of human rights that Israel has been committing against Palestine. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say on the issue right now. It's kind of an informed simplicity moment. Hamas is bad, Israel is bad, civilians are not bad. Although they might be bad, they do not deserve to die. The Israeli government deserves to be obliterated. Hamas deserves to be obliterated. Civilians do not deserve to be obliterated. And that's exactly what's happening, unfortunately. So the only resolution we can hope for is some gradualistic approach that eventually leads to no more Israeli government, no more Hamas. And step one of that is probably like international mediator coming in to simmer down this situation and like sort of direct the two parties involved. Preferably it would be the United States doing this because of the amount of leverage that we have. Israel would probably only listen to us. Telling Israel you have to make land concessions by, this deadline or whatever, or we will retract aid and impose sanctions. That way you get some actual headway started on enfranchising Palestinians in their own land, Right now that I'm done with that, I actually want to do something in Pokemon Emerald 8 that I sometimes do with other Pokemon games, other Pokemon ROM hacks and things like that. I wonder, do I have documentation for this game? No, that's the PKHex folder. ROMs? Maybe? No, that's Emerald Final. That's a different hack. Let's go to documents. It doesn't seem like Pokemon Emerald 8 has a lot of documentation to its name here. Here, hold on. Let me look this up. Pokemon Emeralds 8 documents. Now with full dex and physical special split. Oh yeah, that's right. This game has physical special split, which is actually a super nice quality of life change. Let's see. Where are the documents for this? It says all 386 Pokemon are catchable, but I don't know documentation. Maybe? No, it doesn't. It doesn't really see like it doesn't really seem like, doesn't look like there's a whole lot of documentation. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to go by the information that's provided to me in the Pokedex, and additionally try to avoid creating the same team that I was using in the previous playthrough of Pokemon Emeralds 8. So, no Beedrill, no Dragonite, no Pelipper, no Machamp, no Golem, no, what else was there? Sceptile, and then somebody else. Not today. Damn it. Sorry about that. I forgot to I forgot. I had set a reminder for something, but it's not actually happening today. It's happening tomorrow, so my phone went off. That's my B. Yeah. Oh, no Houndoom as well, which I don't really need to worry that much about because I already have a fire type. So let's actually, I'm going to spend a little bit of time exploring routes 101 and 102 to see what all I can find as far as Pokemon go. Okay, we got Poochyena, we have Hoothoot. I assume that the stats of these Pokemon are not changed from the base game, so they're not going to be the most spectacular stuff. Let's see what's up here. Wingull. I used that on the previous playthrough, so I don't think I'm going to use that now. I do need... There are a couple concerns that I have in this game that I think need to be met. I need a flyer, right? I need somebody that's flying type, and I need a surfer. I need somebody that's water type. Smeargle. Well, color me surprised, I guess, but I'm not going to use one. You know, I don't think Smeargle would be a very welcome fit to the team. Oh, I guess I did change the tag to Palestine. Well, whatever. Look. If that's what this stream ends up being, that's what this stream ends up being. Because that's what's happening in the world. It's relevant political events. It's only fair to talk about it. And, you know, some pressing shit. Let's see here. Anything new? Gaza hospital reeling from Israeli power halt. Oh, geez, this is not good. You know what? I'll keep this up as its own window and check periodically. Ahmed Abu Silmiya, director of Al-Shifa Hospital, said that Israel cutting off power to the Gaza Strip leaves hospitals and medical facilities in a tight spot as they struggle to treat the flow of casualties from Israel's ongoing air assault. Al-Shifa Hospital is the largest in the besieged enclave and has received the highest number of casualties. Damn, you remember that guy earlier, Padishah Emperor, the guy that I banned, how he was saying that there's no innocence in the Gaza Strip? Yeah. This is the level of psychosis that Israel defenders have reached. This is a hospital that has borne the brunt of the casualties. These people are subhuman to me. The people that would defend Israel are subhuman to me as far as their intelligence is concerned. No, that does not mean they ought to be stripped of their rights or killed or whatever. But it is very telling, I think, that they would simply defend Israel to the last when they are literally bombing hospitals. And their response is, what was it? I can actually see these banned messages. There is no innocent person in Gaza. There you have it, folks. They deserved it, I guess. Let's see. We're doing what we can with whatever we have, but we're facing a real threat, especially that power has been cut, and generators here consume 48,000 liters of fuel per day. We cannot afford to continue operating this way, Abu Silmiya told Al Jazeera. He said that 200 Palestinians have been killed and more than 1,600 injured, the majority of whom are in critical condition and require ICU treatment, and others need surgery. Tight siege for 17 years. Medical sector has been paying the heaviest price to the siege. We have shortages of medical supplies and equipment, namely those badly needed in the emergency rooms and intensive care units. Basically, Kowalski analysis. Shit's fucked, sir. That's what all is going on. As the title of my stream suggests, Israel is bad, Hamas is bad, everybody that is getting hurt here is good. At least that is, as far as I'm concerned, that is the moral consideration that we're dealing with. Hamas is killing a bunch of Israeli civilians. Israel uses that as an excuse to kill a bunch of Palestinian civilians, and now here we are. And then, of course, lest it seem like I am equivocating the two, the worst offender here, right? As far as the on aggregate in the historical record, like who is the worst purveyor of crimes here? It's clearly Israel. They have the power to stop. They have the ability and economic leverage to simply cease expelling Palestinians from their homes, and they can afford to be conciliatory, in fact. There are a number of things that they can do to alleviate the situation, and they have chosen not to do them. Every single Palestinian that dies as a result of a retaliatory strike or preemptive strike is an Israeli policy decision, and it is something that you could very easily and openly decry the Israeli government for. It is their fault, and only their fault. Actually, no, it's not only their fault, it's also partially the fault of the United States and the international community for not taking stricter action on the matter, but it's mostly the fault of the Israeli government. And as I'm saying this here, I'm taking a look at what kind of Pokemon I can find on this route. So far, it seems like Igglybuff. That'd be pretty fun. What if I used Igglybuff? What if? I don't think... Okay. I don't know if I want to use Lotad. But I will use Igglybuff. Did they add Fairy type? I want to check. Did they add Fairy type to Pokemon Emeralds 8? No. There's no mention of it, at least. Here, you know what? I'm gonna walk around until I run into another Igglybuff. Yeah, there we go. And then I will catch it. Actually, this should... Okay, no. It does kill. Let me, there we go. I will nickname you. I'll name you Isabella. That's a nice name. It is normal type. Okay. So, there's no fairy type, which means I'm working with the classic type chart. Which for me is actually kind of nice, because that's the type chart I grew up with. But at the same time, it does mean that I'm going to have to consider which Pokemon I use for my team differently. Because since Generation 6, I have actually quite gotten used to Fairy type existing. What can Wigglytuff even learn? Pokemon database, my best friend. Tell me what's up. Here, actually, Pokemon Emeralds 8. What kind of stuff did they add? I need to know the feature list. Like, forgettable HMs. That's actually super nice. Okay, buffed Cut and Rock Smash. Rock Smash now also lowers defense every time. That's actually pretty cool. New music on gym leader battles. Let's it doesn't mention anything about new moves, so I'm assuming that I can actually go to Pokemon Emerald and see what's up. Let's see. You get Feint Attack, you get a couple other things, you get not a whole lot in terms of move pools. You get Hyper Voice, I guess. Hyper Voice and Ice Wind. Icy Wind. I wonder if that's worth it. I don't think it is. I like Jigglypuff, or Wigglytuff. Oh, actually, that's right. You get TMs and stuff as well. Learn TM moves. Okay, it can learn a decent breadth of TM stuff. You know what, though? It's just the thing is, right? The thing about normal types, this used to be, and still is to a certain extent, a problem with the normal type in Pokemon, is they're kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. You know, you get Pokemon with good stats. A lot of normal types have pretty good stats. Even Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff have pretty good stats. They have a nice stat spread to work with, and they have a pretty deep and wide-ranging move pool. But at the same time, they can't really fully utilize those moves because they don't get same type attack bonus from them. So they're kind of, I don't want to say pigeonholed, but they're kind of locked into a role of a support Pokemon, right? Like, the only move I could use in this game, which I would get stabbed from on Wigglytuff, is Hyper Voice, which doesn't have the possibility of doing super effective damage and stuff. I guess I could get, like, Thunderbolt and Ice Beam and Flamethrower and whatever, but I think for using those moves, I would be better suited to just have an Electric type or an Ice type or a Fire type or whatever. You know? So I think with that in mind, I'll continue on here and I'll see what all is going on with respect to available Pokemon, at least before Petalburg? Yeah, Petalburg is the next city that we come up on in the sequence of things. And actually, I think I do want to catch a Pokemon before I pass through, like before I leave Petalburg City. Ooh, I wonder. A lot of Pokemon. Oh, he has like the full suite. Oh, that's so cool. There's the little UI element that actually shows when somebody has 8 Pokemon. That's awesome. I really like that. I think that's great. So, that guy had some interesting stuff. Where do you find Rattata? Oh, you can actually find it here. Right area. Okay. Spearow, Pikachu. Where do you find Pikachu? Okay, it's just up there. What else have I found thus far? Abra? Where can I find you? Okay, not until later. Machop I used last time I played this game, so I'm not going to use it this time. Sentret and Hoot. I don't think I want to use Hoot Hoot, because it's a special attacker, and I need a flyer, and I'd rather they be a physical Pokemon. Pyrogue, Smeargle. Yeah, Zigzag, Purple, Lotad. Okay, so I guess that's what I'm working with. Maybe I will use Lotad. Yeah, you know what? I was considering not using Lotad because I wanted to have a couple of what I would call nukes on my team. You know, Pokemon that are really powerful, have a really powerful, like, attacking stat, which Blaziken isn't really. It'd be more like a brute. I want to have at least a couple of brutes and nukes on my team that have really high attacking stats, and Lotad kind of isn't that. But you know what? If I'm not using Igglybuff, I could very well use Lotad. That could be one of my 4 special attackers. Oh, you can find the starters in the wild? That's kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to use them, but it is cool that they're there. Alright, Lotad, what's up? I will name you We'll name you Yasmin. Yeah. So of course I'll probably have to change the stats and stuff in the text editor or whatever for the EVs and IVs and whatever. Because, like, if I didn't do that, I'm very aware that you could easily consider what I do in PK Hex to be cheating in this game. But at the same time, if I didn't do it, I would just be trying to do it the hard way and probably failing miserably, and it would make the game a lot less enjoyable to watch. So let me go do that. Alright, Lotad. Open. It is in the ROMs folder. Dot save. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I forgot that there was like a filter option. Emeralds 8. Party. Let's take a look at you. What is this? That's actually a pretty good nature for this. I'll keep that nature. And I will go instead full special attack, full special defense, and then a little bit of HP investment. I don't want him to be especially fast. I don't care about that very much. And yeah, I guess I'll do that. That'll be team member number 2. Is Yasmin the Lotad? Now there is a little thing. It is a glitch with PK Hex. That you can't see the other team members. However, I have learned, because I used PK Hex the last time I played through Pokemon Emeralds 8. I was worried for a little while that it might actually erase the team members that I couldn't see, but that was actually not the case. So, thankfully that, you know, we have that going for us. Let's level you up a little bit. Oh no! Well, it looks like I have to do this right away. Ah, the poison and stuff. No, what? I didn't mean to do that. I swear I didn't. Ooh, I need to drink some water after that. I guess I could, I'll keep an eye on the Israel-Palestine situation as it's, like, escalating here or developing. But I wanted to talk about some other stuff that happened also, because this is a politics live stream, not just an Israel-Palestine live stream, and also a Pokemon live stream. So, I don't think I have a, no, I do have a news article for this, like well, not a news article, but here we go. I do have some statistics to this effect. So, it's been a little while since I talked about Twitter. I think the last video of mine about Twitter was when Elon changed the name, logo, and branding, which was a stupid decision, and everybody recognizes and maintains that it is a stupid decision. But this time, it's actually something else. Somebody, I remember on a video from before that one, also about Twitter, said that the downfall of Twitter is long, but it's coming. You know, and kudos to them for saying something that actually was you know, it really stuck with me. You know, you can't really expect it to happen all at once. Here we have another bit of it happening, a bit of the downfall of Twitter, or at least evidence has come to light of part of that downfall that had happened in the past, and we now see it. On Statista here, it says most popular social networks worldwide as of January 2023. So this is a little bit old. Ranked by number of monthly active users. Right? So we have at the top, we're going to go from the top in descending order. All right? Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, WeChat, TikTok, Facebook Messenger, Douyin, Telegram, Snapchat, Kuaishou, Sina Weibo, QQ, Twitter. Twitter doesn't even crack the top 10 of most used social media apps. Or most used social networks, I should say. Do I want to? I was going to use an old. Nah, I don't think I do. Not right now, anyways. I'll come back to that. And it actually does also list the number of monthly active users. Facebook has almost 3,000 million, so almost 3 billion monthly active users are on Facebook. About 2.5 billion monthly active users on YouTube. You know, very big, very successful social media companies. Then you go down, you get WhatsApp and Instagram with a clean 2 billion each. And then you go all the way down. TikTok has a little over 1 billion, so it's up there. You go all the way down. Twitter has 556 million monthly active users. The only other site that is significant enough to be on this list that is below Twitter is Pinterest with 445 million monthly active users. And of course, Twitter continues, I think, to be like disproportionately politically relevant, right? There are a lot of politicians that use Twitter Some that I follow because I either like them or they are my representatives, and so I should feel like I should follow them to stay appraised of local and regional politics to an extent. Right? There's this like legacy effect that sort of persists with Twitter a little bit. You know, it doesn't. It still, for some reason, has more of like a political impact than sites like Facebook. At least in the United States, it does. You know, when political discourse happens online, it's on Twitter. But how much longer that's going to be the case, I'm not entirely sure. You know, if Twitter is getting way down there in monthly active users, and I think in daily active users as well. Let me look this up. Yeah, here we go. Search logistics. There are only 237.8 million daily active users on Twitter, which I'm pretty sure is less than Telegram. Jesus, and there's a 68% to 32% male to female ratio of people that use Twitter, which is not good. If you're like a marketing person, that is not indicative of a platform that is widely popular and like marketable and stuff. Users broken down by country. Okay. Oh wow, the U.S. and Japan are the two biggest users of Twitter by sheer volume. The U.S. has 77 million and Japan has 59 million active users. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So this just lists the same Statista chart of the monthly active users as well. I guess I'll sort of default back to what I have to say about Twitter every time I mention that it's sort of going down the tubes, which is that there's one thing about Twitter that was valuable, and that was its immediacy and like brevity and quickness when it comes to political discourse. When politics transpire, when politics happens, one of the first places you hear about it is Twitter. Now, unfortunately, now that's taken a sort of warped shape because Twitter, believe it or not, is even worse for misinfo than Facebook. Facebook has zero moderation, but Twitter has like negative moderation or something. But in order for Twitter to be able to properly die, I think some website has to come to the forefront that is basically what Twitter was for politics and breaking news. And that doesn't currently exist. As much as people want to try to throw Threads out there or some other alternative, that doesn't currently exist. It would have to be a public blue sky or like Twitter 2 or whatever the case is. There would have to be a replacement where whatever else you change, because there is a whole lot that should be changed about Twitter. Elon's ownership notwithstanding even. But what has to remain the same is the short form content and the ability to get relevant political news like this, like as it's happening. You know, that's I think a critical aspect of the social media landscape that has to be maintained, preserved, cultivated. I don't know. But overall, I think it is good that Twitter is on its way out, that Twitter is dying. Because like one of the things that I actually encountered was when I was looking at the Israel-Palestine stuff that's currently going on right now. There was a lot of misinfo on Twitter about like what was or wasn't happening. This is always the case kind of in wartime. But nowadays that like it's almost worse if you see something coming from a blue check verified account, because then you know that like, oh, it's probably, you know, misinfo on some level. I just don't know what their angle is, right? That's the effect that Elon has had on the website. He loves disinformation. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I might be at the risk of repeating myself a little bit, but just to summarize things in one sentence. Twitter should die. Twitter is dying. And I think it's good that Twitter is dying. And I await the day that it dies with anticipation. However, there has to be something that can replace it with respect to its political relevance and influence and accessibility to the public discourse. You know? And it has to be one place where you can see all of this stuff. Mastodon has a pretty decent model. I think I might want to schedule a time where I just sit down and try to cultivate a Mastodon newsfeed and whatever, so I can be on that website more. Because I'm aware that, like, part of the reason that Mastodon feels so dead is just because I don't follow that many people, I don't get that much on my feed, and I don't interact with the website very much. And of course, I'm thinking about this more because, believe it or not, Twitter has started to feel a little bit more dead lately. Very bizarre. Okay, I guess they want me to go to the gym. What's up? It's my in-game dad. And he's gonna loan him a Pokemon. And Ralts appears. I guess you can still encounter Ralts in this ROM hack. Gonna throw a Pokeball. And that was the catching tutorial. Yay! Head for Rustboro City. Okay, nice. You know, I will say something about certain ROM hacks. This is one thing I've seen ROM hacks do that I wish they would do more, is that you can challenge the gyms in any order in some of them. And the Pokemon levels will be appropriate to the order in which you are challenging them. I think there's a Pokemon Crystal ROM hack that did this, and I would be eager to play that on stream. I've already played through it and completed it, but it's a very cool game, and I think it'd be fun to relive that. Anyways, I'm gonna put on my hoodie here. A little bit cold, a little bit cool today. A little bit breezy, a little bit windy, etc. Here we go. Nice. Good, I have a headset here. Sorry. Okay. Sick. Let us continue on. Continue onward. Ivan and yes. Alright. Heidelberg City. Well, I have 2 Pokemon, so I can move on now. That's good. Yeah. I do kind of want to get a Dragon type. Let me look up where you get Bagon. YouTube video, and you have to go to Meteor Falls. Wonderful. Jeez, that one of the problems with the Dragon types is that you can't get them until so late in the game. Here, you know what? Actually, since I have Pokemon Database open, why don't I just filter by here? And I'll show you guys too. You'll get to see this. Why don't I just filter by Dragon type, right? And then see what's up, see what's available. That's right, Flygon. I love Flygon. Let's see where do I get Trapinch again? I think I remember where I get it, but and the best part about this is that I can have a flying type because it's Dragon Ground. Here, location. Route 111. And Mirage Tower, but Route 111. Okay, awesome. Nice. I'm actually really glad to be playing Pokemon again. I didn't expect to have this much fun with the game just off the get-go here, you know. So I know I'm going to incorporate Trapinch and the Flygon evolutionary line into my team. But before that, I want a flyer. Presumably Talo or Swellow or something. Maybe Pidgey? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I want as a flying type. You know what? I'll look at that actually as well. Oh, you know what? This is actually cause to break out a document that I haven't used in a long time. For those not familiar, the way I play Pokemon games sometimes, is I have this document called Pokemon Team Composition. Here we go. And on this document, I plan out what my party's going to be in each game that I play. Now, lately I haven't been using it as much because sometimes I take the approach of I will just use all the Pokemon that I catch. But here we have, this was my team in the last time I played Pokemon Emeralds 8. It was great. However, I'm going to start again. So now I have the Torchic line and the Lotad line. And then I'm going to have the Trapinch line, Route 111. All right, that's one thing. And now let's look at a flying type. Let's see what's up. What are my options here? And I need somebody that can actually use fly. Pidgeot can, but you know that's a attack stat isn't amazing. I could get a Zubat. That's a possibility. I'm looking mostly for a physical attacking flying type. Murkrow? I mean, it's a mixed attacker, but I could use it as a... Where do I find you? I have to migrate from another game. That's lame. Wait, actually. They said all 386 Pokemon are catchable in this game, so... Is there really no documentation on this ROM hack? Come on, man. There's gotta be something. God, you know it's desperate when I'm looking at a Facebook page. Okay, it shows you where to get the starters. That's cool. And the legendaries as well. Nothing else though. That's unfortunate. Here we go. Emeralds 8. Where? Documentations for the new teams of gym leaders. You know what? I guess I'm just gonna have to sort of like play it by ear. I guess I'll just write down flyer of some kind. Or crow, maybe? I don't know. I'll write that down for now, and then I'll continue looking, see if anything else strikes my fancy. I can't go past this. This is where I get into Gen 4. Swellow is just such a cool design. 90, 100. Doesn't Swellow have like insane speed for a starting area bird? Yeah, what the fuck? 125 speed. Jesus Christ. I see. Well, you know. Where do I find this little guy? 104, 115, 116, and Petalburg Woods. Alright, so I can find it pretty soon. I wonder. Wait, actually, I think in one of the things for Murkrow, it did say there's one Gen 3 game where you can find it. Fire. No, you can't find it in any of the Hoenn games. So I actually don't know where I would find Murkrow. Okay, look, here's the thing. I'm gonna use a Taillow probably. You know, I'll just put Taillow line. 104, 15, 116. Petalburg Woods. Cool. We got 4 members of a team lined up. 3 of them are physical attackers. I have a Surf user. That's that would be Lotad. I could teach somebody Strength and then just reteach them another TM that I've acquired because there are reusable TMs in this game. What else do I want to do? I guess beyond that, I'll play it by ear, right? Because all I'm looking for are different types. And this is all that I would need. Is I have my starter, Surf Pokemon that can use Strength, and a Flyer. I guess now I'll play it by ear. You know, see what kind of Pokemon I want to use, and try to have, like, type diversity on the team. You know? Although if I have one repeating type, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know? Although technically, if you were really good, and I mean really good, at picking your team, you could actually, in this game, you could get a team with 16 of the 17 types. You know? You have to be pretty cracked at team composition, though, to do that. Like, I don't even know what combination of 16 Pokemon you could get that would get you that. Nidoran? Wait, this is Route 104, right? Yeah. I can find Taillow here. Let's see where is he? We got the Nidos. God, those are cool. Like, those are cool ground types, but they're also like there's a type overlap, and I don't want ground to be the one type where there's 2 members of the team that are the same, because then that's a weakness to ice and like water or whatever. I already have a water weakness in my starter, so. Alright, let's just start running from stuff until I find Taillow. Huh. I guess now that I'm doing this, actually, also, let me bring this back. I can talk more politics. Let me type some stuff first. Let's see. All right, cool. So I have that. Now what do we got? Oh yeah. Here we go. We return to another fixture of the channel. More Perfect Union. I talk about them semi-frequently. You know, when stuff comes up. Because I think their coverage of union events and the labor struggle in the United States is pretty much second to none. I think they're one of the best out there. It's like, what, them, the Lever News, and, like, Ken Klippenstein. There's not that much, because, like, main news outlets, like, mainstream news outlets, will cover these events because they're significant news events, and they're politically relevant. But they always come in with this very weird pro-business, like, anti-worker bias it's very, like, counterproductive, and it's, like, really cringe to read it and be, like, have this interwoven, oh, but think of the poor millionaires and billionaires that own these companies. Like, I don't care. You know. But anyways, we have here, this morning, at 6 a.m. Pacific, healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente walked out on strike. Now, this was not this morning. This was actually 3 days ago. That's just what the tweet reads. This was on October 4th, the morning of October 4th. 75,000 healthcare workers, hospital workers at Kaiser Permanente, they're a big insurer and, medical company, walked out. And they went on strike. This is the biggest strike in the history of the healthcare industry in the U.S. These vital healthcare workers are striking for better pay, better staffing ratios, and ultimately better patient care. Let's take a look actually at the thread. Oh, okay. So they posted a link to a separate thread. Here we go. I will actually duplicate this tab so that if I make this a segment in the future, this is going to be very easy to find. Haha. Making life easy for myself. Let's see. So this strike has been launched. The union contract covering these vital healthcare workers has expired. So now they're walking out for raises that keep up with inflation and better patient care. This 4-day strike will take place at hundreds of facilities in California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Virginia, and DC. And the coalition of Kaiser Permanente unions says that if management doesn't move another longer strike will be called. Okay, sorry, I misread that. The placement of the comma there was a little bit weird to me. So they're going on this initial 4-day strike, and then if after the 4 days management isn't prepared to meet their demands for a raise and stuff like that, they're going to strike for longer, which I think is a good approach to take to this. You want to be approaching the issue in some degree of like good faith, or at least present that as an outwardly facing thing, because then that makes it actually a lot harder for the media to demonize striking workers and unions around the country. You know. I'm now realizing I think Tailo can't be found here. At least not under the circumstances that I'm currently looking at. Magikarp. The best Pokemon. Everybody's favorite. Let's continue reading from the, what happened to the More Perfect Union thread, huh? Why is that recently closed? Put that shit back. Okay, now it's back. I don't know what's going on with my tabs here. Okay, here we go. Next thing in the thread. A huge concern for the union healthcare workers is staffing shortages. Like other nurses and technicians in hospitals across the country, the workers at Kaiser say that the organization simply isn't hiring enough people to meet patient needs. This is something that frequently happens at companies in general, but it is also a big problem with having a for-profit health sector in the U.S. This is a unique problem. I think China also has like a for-profit health system, which is not great, but the way that things play out in the United States is that companies will often hire fewer people than is, it's about time that war is officially announced. Oh, we were talking about the Israel-Palestine stuff. Welcome to chat. I'll get back to that in a minute, but right now I'm talking about some things in the US, if that's okay. Actually talking about the Kaiser Permanente strike, if you're willing to listen in for a little while. Oh, that guy Akashi. Thank you for the follow. And yeah, the follow notification's working. Very good. There's always a little bit of a weird delay. Anyways, so, you know, the reason that a lot of companies in the United States have understaffed workforces is because it's, like, more cost-effective to run fewer staff members so that way demand is sort of kept, like high. It's a way of maintaining high demand, if I remember right. And this is also the case when it comes to healthcare, unfortunately. And there's also the issue of like upper management and a lot of the company leadership and whatever just being very stingy people in the way that they run things. So, you know, that ends up playing a role as well. Why hire 500 when you can double the working hours for 250? Exactly. Thank you. You know, that's the sort of mindset that's going on. And as a result, that's one of the contributing factors to why the Kaiser Permanente people went on strike. Let me return to the thread here. Quote, "It's distressful and frustrating that we don't have the staffing that's required to give people the quality of care that they deserve and that they need." Michael Ramey, an ultrasound technician and president of the OPEIU Local 30. End quote. I think that's from like a different news outlet. Yeah, that's from Axios. Okay, there we go. And Kaiser Permanente has the money. The nonprofit has reported more than $3 billion in profits for the first half of 2023 and has paid at least 49 corporate executive salaries exceeding $1 million annually. So the term nonprofit here is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's like basically it's one of those nonprofits that's basically just a regular for-profit corporation, but for some legal trickery, they get to keep the label of nonprofit because it's like, oh, well, our primary objective is serving the best kind of best quality care to our patients or whatever. But you know, it really doesn't mean much. Every hospital in the United States is basically a for-profit hospital that operates kind of in this way. Next part of the thread. Healthcare workers everywhere are reporting massive burnout from being overworked and underpaid. Patients are suffering the consequences right alongside these essential workers. So it's time to listen to the unions of healthcare workers and meet their needs. And I agree. I think that it's a good thing that healthcare workers are going on strike here. You know, it's a good thing, and I think that it will result in good things in the future. One thing the pandemic showed is that the population in the United States is severely overworked, and we're now seeing the sort of fallout from that, where a lot of people are getting agitated and organizing enough to go on strike for better pay, better working conditions, better hours, more staff, you know, that sort of thing. And you know, it's another one of those record strikes to add on the ever-growing record. Seems like the hot labor summer never ends. Despite the fact that it is no longer hot and it is now fall, we are still getting the labor part. You know? Woo! I actually winded myself talking about that. That'd make a good segment, I think. I'm gonna write that down. It'll be great. Kaiser strike. Yeah, that's great. Of course, I'm just making more work for myself by adding segment after segment, but whatever. Now, I think, since you mentioned it, I have it as a tag on my stream. This transpired while I was sleeping. Some new developments in the Israel-Palestine conflict, which, as that guy Akashi mentioned in chat, the Israeli government has declared a state of war between itself and Hamas, which it seems like is well, I would say it seems similar to the state of affairs for the past 10 to 20 years, but really it is an acceleration and like an escalation of things that now it's, as opposed to just being a conflict that's sort of simmering, it is an outright war. To recap, you know, I was talking about this earlier. This happened while I was sleeping. Hamas took advantage of the fact that it is a Jewish holiday. I don't know which one because I am not well versed on Judaism. Might be. And launched a bunch of rockets into Israel. You could apply that term more or less loosely to the stuff that they fired. Some of them were proper rockets, you know, capable of doing a lot of damage, and some of them were more just like, I don't know, military-grade bottle rockets. You know, it's Hamas, so they don't exactly have the finest military tech available. It's like disparate militant pockets and stuff like that. It's very much, there's like a lopsided balance of power here. But anyways, they did launch that attack from the Gaza Strip, and then they started invading Israeli territory, started capturing a few settlements. And I think, I'll revisit the Al Jazeera page. The state of things right now, it seems like there is fighting ongoing in 22 locations near Gaza, according to Al Jazeera. Wow, yeah, okay. 198 Palestinians in Gaza bombardment, and then 232 is a more recent number, and then almost 1,700 Palestinian civilians wounded. And I remember seeing earlier that there were a lot of capturings as well. I think 100 Israeli civilians had been captured, and then there were like, man, there were some pretty gruesome videos on social media going around of Hamas militants killing Israeli civilians, which is not good. It's really not good all around. To give a brief recap of the history that like led up to this attack, because like obviously something this drastic does not occur in a vacuum. Yeah, what had basically been happening, like if we want to go all the way back to Israel, I think the international community like really fumbled the ball. It's fair, then it's not. Yeah, the international community, I think, really fumbled the ball. Yeah, when the state of Israel was set up. On some level, that's neither here nor there, because I can't go back in time to 1947 and tell the UN you're fucking stupid, accept Israelis in your own country, and don't create a state where one already exists. A lot of tensions were created by the creation of Israel. What Palestinians are doing right now is justified and yet still bad. Yeah, there is definitely that element. Israel had launched invasion after invasion into Palestine, and then also neighboring countries. There's been settler colonialism happening ever since Israel was created. And the government, you could fully hold at fault for all of this, and to a certain degree, you could hold the citizenry at fault as well, because there's a pre-selection bias. But at the end of the day, civilians are still civilians. The basic recap is just that this has been happening where there's been a dramatic imbalance of power, with Israel having a disproportionate amount of military and economic force behind them, with the support of the United States and a decent chunk of the Western world outside of that, but mostly the US. Have a video clip about a squad of Israeli forces brutalizing a fucking kid. Yeah, there's all sorts of terrifying videos out there. I can't watch them on stream because of Twitch TOS and whatnot. It seems like now we're starting to see the other shoe is dropping. I've yet to see someone who talks about it. Well, I guess I'm that person. There's a chart on Al Jazeera. Let me show it. There have been, there's no denying Hamas has done horrible things. Hamas is not to be condoned, etc., etc. We've heard this a million times. But look, if we're talking about human cost here, it's very clear who is the main purveyor of the horrors going on in the Gaza Strip, in the West Bank. It is the government of Israel. The deaths of Palestinians far outweigh the deaths of Israelis. This just goes back to 2008 to 2009. I'm sure that if you were to extrapolate this data back to some point in the 20th century, it would be an even more drastic picture. And this is not sustainable in any sense of the word, right? What I'm going to talk a little bit about what should happen, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think will happen, because they're two very different things, unfortunately. Right now, I think that the thing that we should be aiming for politically right now is a two-state solution. I think a one-state solution obviously is the ideal, with a secular Palestine or Israel-Palestine, and both groups having enfranchisement and rights, because it's very clear that even with all the horrifying Israeli settler colonialism, whatever, now there are a significant number of Israelis who have been born and raised in Israel, and it wouldn't be a good idea to simply try to kick those people out. But at the same time, this demands a massive amount of concessions from the Israeli government. It would require them to relinquish a lot of land to Palestine or to Palestinian communities and let people back in their homes. Right of return is a big fixture here, and I support that. Especially, for Palestinian families who, were evicted from their homes, they should be allowed to come back. And I think that's not negotiable. I think that has to happen. And then, eventually through like land concessions, housing development, resettling and relocating people within Israel and Palestine. I don't support peace offerings anymore. I totally understand. And you are under no obligation to support those peace offerings. I think the burden, if any peace offering comes, the burden of that offering has to be on Israel, at the very least. I think that the ball is in Israel's court, always has been, and they have, tried to take it and go home every time. And then, what's taken by force can only be reclaimed by force. Yeah, unfortunately, it does seem like that is the case. And the most hopeful outcome for me is that force can be achieved by way of maybe soft power, that like what the U.S. can do. That's and I am aware that I'm being unrealistically optimistic, right? There is a path out of this. It might look more or less good depending on who's in the driver's seat. But now let me talk a little bit about what I think will happen, right? I think that like this is the proverbial other shoe dropping, right? This, Israel has made it their project to sort of eradicate Palestinians as an ethnic group, as a community, and whatnot. This is very clearly a project of ethnic cleansing that is ongoing. You want peace, get the fuck out. I know Israel planted their roots so deep that they literally have nowhere to go. Sure, stay. Yeah, for those people, I think, stay. You can stay and whatnot. But the crux of it is that Palestinians have to be allowed back in their own homes. There's got to be some solution there. And ultimately, if things get ugly, that falls to Israel more than anybody. What I think will happen is that Israel is going to attempt to just continue this project of ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. And now it seems that, unfortunately, they've found themselves some pretext to take it to the next level. There's no easy way to say this, but I don't know if the U.S. is actually going to intervene to try to stop this. I wish I could bring something better to the discussion than that. But the United States throughout history has been unwilling to rein in Israel to really any meaningful extent. In large part because of the strategic benefit that they present. Now, I hope I'm wrong on that. And if it were any administration reigning in Israel, it would probably be this one. The Biden administration, as many criticisms as I do have of them, which are actually fewer now than a while ago. The U.S. definitely will have a say. Yeah, if the U.S. says something, then basically what they say goes. If they decide that, like, this is our red line, then that red line gets enforced, because the United States is the sole hegemonic power on the world stage. Although I guess you could make some argument for another country. Israel is the only ally in the Middle East region. That's right, and that's exactly why Israel kind of has to do what the United States says at the end of the day, because it's the main thing that keeps Israel afloat and in as good a developmental spot as it is aid from the United States and the military allyship. I don't know for sure that Israel would be destroyed if the United States were to pull out, but it would be bad. If they lose Israel, the U.S. will lose its influence. Yes, and that you're right. That does also work the other way around, where if Israel pulls out of, or if the U.S. pulls out of Israel, then they no longer have an ally in the Middle East, except for, I guess, Turkey. But I mean, we've seen how that's been playing out recently. Turkey literally attacked U.S. forces in Syria, resulting in the United States shooting down some Turkish drones. So I would hardly consider Turkey an ally. Um, what do I name this? So, I think that the things are going to escalate before they get better, which is not good. The bad things we've seen are going to happen some more until such time that if you turn your back on Israel, you'd have the entire region as an ally. That actually might be true. That actually, you might have a point there. I think what will end up happening is that the United States is going to, at some point, they're going to like give Israel a proverbial tap on the shoulder. I don't know how stern the U.S. is going to be. I'm not super well informed with respect to like international politics in that region. I don't know exactly what the U.S.'s mode of operation is. But I think that it constitutes enough of a PR problem for the United States, which is a very crass way of putting it, but it's enough of a PR problem for the U.S. to want to get involved. But then why have some of the bad developed countries instead of a top-tier country? That's true, and I think what the United States needs to realize, maybe not what they realize, because I don't think they do yet, is that the United States effectively can decide which country is going to be developed and which country isn't. If the United States is allies with a certain country, they can sort of lean on the United States for more favorable economic terms when they negotiate for loans, or rely on U.S. aid money from the United States directly. And there is like, there's a very real correlation between countries that are allied with developed powers and the course of development in those countries. And long story short, if the United States were to ally with Iraq and were to ally with like Lebanon or some other countries in the Middle East, then those countries would start developing a lot faster, and they would start to become, well, they would start to look more like the countries that the United States would want to have as an ally. So in some ways, this is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Basically the US can take one of those bad developed countries and turn it into a top-tier country. You have the richest country in the world in that region. Saudi, Qatar, Emirates, you name it. Yeah, that's right. The United States has, historically, it's chosen some pretty suspect allies, right? There we go. I vehemently disagree with the decision to have the Saudis and like Qatar and any of the OPEC countries really in the Middle East as allies. There are better places that we could be getting our oil, and we shouldn't be aligning ourselves with countries like that. It's like we all don't know the meme of the United States going in and doing a regime change. They hate us for our freedoms and all that. There's no reason that we can't do that to those horrifically despotic countries and then just be allies with them. But, for whatever reason, we leave them be. And it seems like the United States has a pattern of allying itself with some of the worst actors out there. There are some countries that we're allied with that aren't all out and out horrifying, but there's a lot that are, and that needs to change. This conflict should have ended years ago. I couldn't agree more. And I think it should, there were several times where it seems like it really should have ended, right? Like, I remember reviewing a debate, this is up on my YouTube channel, between Lonerbox and Destiny about the Israel-Palestine conflict. This was like a couple weeks ago that I did this. There were several opportunities, actually, Lonerbox brought up, that there were peace negotiations at several points that actually looked like they might amount to something. But every time, they stopped just short, mostly because of the Israeli government. And by mostly, I mean almost entirely. Last war could have ended if not for betrayal. Yeah. There's the matter of the Palestinian Authority being really, ineffectual and stuff like that. There's a matter of the Israeli government providing money to Hamas. The Israeli government actually funds Hamas because it provides them a convenient excuse to continue settler colonialism under the guise of controlling terrorism and whatever. Yeah. Palestinian government is a shithole, to be honest. Yeah, and I think Palestinians, know that probably better than anybody. Oops. It's there is still, you know, there are policy solutions, but you know, every time these sorts of escalations happen, those solutions look less and less likely to take place. From Palestinian or Pad Liberation Wars, I could. You know what? Let me look that up. Palestinian Liberation Force? Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO. Wow. The West Bank and the Gaza Strip is their main goal right now, but okay. Ideology. Wow. Not Palestinian. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. No, yeah. Okay, yeah. I've misunderstood what you're saying. Yeah, you're completely right. There could be some lessons learned from past liberation struggles from other countries and stuff. That's absolutely true. Wars that happen in other countries. Yes, you're right. And I think you know, some of those lessons probably would involve, like, I don't know. I guess, you know, for example, Algeria versus France. Yes, that's right. I think I don't know, like, I would support, like, a Palestinian revolt or whatever if one did happen. I don't think it would be the correct decision to support Hamas here, because, like, I don't think they're very representative of the best interests of Palestinians. It might be the case that a lot of Palestinians support them, but I don't think that they are a good representation of what Palestine should be. I think Palestine could be taking cues, like you said, from Algeria, and trying to I guess, even though they have been doing this, you know, gaining international support here is very important. And really, at times like these, you need to be in the ear of the United States, because the United States has, like, a lot of ability to do stuff about the Israeli government. And I think that it also necessitates sort of building, if not support, at least sympathy in the Israeli population, which is a very tall order, because, I mean, there's that pre-selection of, like, you have, like, I think birthright citizenship in Israel if you're Jewish. Nah? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Look, whatever's happening, I would support Palestinian, like, militant liberation movement. But I don't know how present the conditions are for that right now. I don't know if this is going to turn into that. They got their hands full with Ukraine. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. The international community really, like, their main focus right now is Ukraine, it seems. I see what you're saying. Honestly, it seems like this couldn't have come at a worse time, really. Which sucks. Sucks a lot. Was this berry shop? Can't get anything at the flower shop. No, Maria fainted. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's actually getting warmer now. Take this sweatshirt off. Here we go. I guess there's not a whole lot more that I can add to the situation other than I don't fully know what's going to come of this. I just, you know, I guess I'll just maintain what I said when I was reviewing that debate. Even though it doesn't seem like it right now, one day there's not going to be an Israel-Palestine conflict anymore. It's just a matter of what that looks like, whether it's going to be, like, the bad ending or the less bad ending, the good ending. And I guess things look pretty bleak right now. There are avenues of advancement. You know, I think the militancy of Palestinians is not to be discounted here, but Hamas is clearly not making matters better by killing civilians. Israel is not making matters better by existing and also killing civilians and also doing settler colonialism and also bombing civilians and also. That's my take. It's a shame it has to be like downer. Either Palestine will go extinct or Israel heals to Palestinian demands and hands over the lands that they took. Yeah, those are basically the only two options, I think. You know, and like within those options there's a range of like different universes where like, oh, they do it in this way or this other way or this other different way or whatever. But yeah, I think ultimately like Israel is not going to be satisfied unless they wipe out every Palestinian. And the conflict isn't going to be properly resolved unless lands are, like, extensive lands are given back to Palestine and people get right of return and the sort of settling of, like, the settler colonialism stuff stops. You know, and whatever happens is going to be one of those two. And I think I'm gonna cut my input there. I think that's about all I can really say about or take away from this this ongoing matter. It's just, you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot. The classic fisherman that has a bunch of Magikarps. Oh, I got a Chesto Berry. Oh, nice. I'm in... What is this? Rustboro? Yeah! I remember my Pokemon city. Let's, I could go to the gym right away, but I also want to see what's going on other routes. I can't find Pokemon here, can I? No. Yeah, no. I don't have the fishing rod. Nope, it's all grass here either. You have to. Okay. Let me see if there was anything else on my list that I wanted to talk about. Or a couple of things, maybe. Oh, oh yeah. There were a couple things that happened in the United States that were very interesting. One of them is the Speaker of the House being ousted. This is like something that's never happened in American history before. This happened a few days ago. Our right-wing party is in disarray, and I think, actually, to tie it back to the Palestinian issue, if any support comes for Palestine or any like opposition to Israel comes from America, it would actually be indirectly as a result of this. The GOP, like the right-wing party, is in enough turmoil that it could be the case that like this enables the Democrats to get pushed further left. In fact, I think I've seen like the Democrats now are more willing to accept progressives, and progressives in the United States are more likely to hold favorable views of Palestine in the conflict rather than Israel. Even though the official stance of the United States is that they're an Israeli ally and things like that. Hopefully eventually there becomes a large enough pro-Palestine coalition in the United States that they can actually get in the president's ear and say like, hey, we need to rein in Israel as much as is possible here. Like, you know, you want to have your ally in the Middle East, fine, but you can't be doing settler colonialism. You can't be doing all this stuff. You have to concede land back to Palestine. You have to allow right of return and all this stuff. You know. And the worst part, though, is that, like, the hardest part of that is going to be, like, the United States only really takes PR hits from Israel doing its thing. It would have to be, like, the United States just purely intervenes on humanitarian grounds, which is not very likely if I know the United States and how they work. Or at least, you know, if I know the U.S. government and how they work. That'd be nice, man. I feel like this is one of the issues. You know, there's some people who post the memes of like, there's that little metronome and it goes back and forth between a better world is possible and it's Jover, and whatever is in the middle. I feel like for me, like the Palestinian issue more than anything is like an example of that divide. Either a better world is possible or it's just completely Jover, and it depends on like how severe the action is at any given moment. You know, which is just rough. Anywho. No, affects sport. That's annoying. Oh well. Doesn't Torchic learn Peck? Hmm. Alright. Let me take care of these hikers here. Geo do this. No, I will keep my Pokemon in. I think I want to do like a kind of a survey of the land, of the you know, this route and the cave that's up ahead, and then I'll probably end stream even if it's a little bit early. I'm getting a little tired, and I think this has been a good stream. You know, talked about Israel-Palestine for the most part. Interacted and then banned a genocide defender, in fact, in chat earlier. Had a nice chat experience talking about serious events with new chatter. It's been good. It's been pretty good. You know, there's not a whole lot of things that will get you banned in my chat, but genocide apologia is one of them. So. And, you know, saying the N-word if you don't have the pass. But that's more of a Twitch thing than a me thing, I feel like. So, where am I right now? I am... Well, actually, I should, this is Rust Turf Tunnel. Route 116, okay. Now, I want to see if there's anything cool that I could get on this route. I gotta remember... to keep a slot on my team open for Trapinch, so I don't want a ground type right now. Not trying to find a ground type. There's Abra, which is psychic type. That's a possibility. I could do that. There's, let's see, there's Mortalo here. There's, what else? Clefairy, that's normal type. Similar problem to Igglybuff, Well, look, it's an option, and I'll leave it at that for now. Got Nincada, but that's ground. Well, only Nincada is ground type. Then it's like Bug Flying and Bug. Let's see. Nidoran again. Nidoran. Okay, it seems like that's what all is available on this route. Now, I actually wonder. Let's see. Pokemon Emerald. Old Rod. Okay, yeah, it's a due for 10. I don't think I'm going to get much use out of the old rod because I already have a water type. But you never know, I guess. Hero. So I already have Taylor. Let's see what's in Rusturf Tunnel. Let's see what's in here. Corphish, that's interesting. Got some Rock Smash Rocks. Whismer, another normal type. You know, I've never used Exploud on a team before. That might be something to consider. Even though it's pure normal, and I've already listed some of the critiques I have of pure normal types, it's a good mixed attacker, so I could decide whether I want it to be physical or special, depending on like what move pool is available to. Interesting possibilities. Let's, can I find anything else? Or is it just Whismer and Corphish for them? It seems like it's just Whismer and Corphish. Okay, so let me get a good review of my team. Let's bring the document back. So far, for my team, my planned out, I already have Torchic, Lotad, and Talo, or I have Lombre now. And I'm gonna get Trapinch. Let me take a look at Exploud and see how useful that would be on a team. Moves learned in Generation 3. Astonish, Pound, Uproar, Stomp, Hyper Beam, Hyper Voice. Learns that at level 63. Move Tutor moves. It can learn some of the punch moves. That's cool. Actually, it can learn all 3 of the elemental punch moves. That's neat. Okay, so it's got a decently expansive move pool. Again, just that problem with normal types. Learn Shadow Ball. That's kind of like that. I might go with Abra. Let's see. What do I have? I have 1 special attacker out of the 4 that I plan to have. Right? And I have 2 physical attackers. Again, out of the 4 that I plan to. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to have an Ice type or any given type of Pokemon right away. So, I could have a dual, like, the overlapping type on my team could be normal type, right? I could have a Whismer, and I think I also want to get Abra, believe it or not. Even though it's a pure Psychic type. And, I don't know, Beldum's really cool. Okay, let me check real quick. How late in the game do you get Beldum? That's Baldum, not Beldum. That's not a Pokemon. Or maybe it is, and Beldum just needs Rogaine. Locations. Moss Deep City. How do you get it? Given to you after defeating the Elite Four. Okay, so you can't actually catch it. You have to get it as a gift. Well, 5 after defeating Elite Four. Okay. Alright. So, Beldum is out of the cards. It's good to know. It's disappointing, but it is good to know. What about Chimecho? Where can I get a Chimecho? Mount Pyre. Okay, so I'd have to wait pretty late in the game. And Chimecho's stats aren't that good. It's just I don't use it very often, so it'd be nice to have. Let's, if I write on this list, if I write Abra line and Whismer line, that's 6 so far that I have planned, which leaves room for let's see, 1 physical and 1 special attacker, assuming I make Whismer a special attacker, which I probably will. Even though there's like physical special split. Yeah, because it can learn like Ice Beam, can it? Exploud. What TMs do you learn? Moves learned, generation, not 4. We'll go to 3. Emerald. No, it doesn't learn Ice Beam. It learns Icy Wind. No, it does learn Ice Beam. I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay. Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Flamethrower. Yeah, okay. I could have some cool stuff for this Pokemon, for this guy. Yeah. Special. Alright, so I know what Pokemon I'm catching. I'm going to catch those two, and then I'll change their stats, and I will end stream. And it seems like I wasn't going to end stream that early after all. Let's start with Abra. Monkey. Many such cases. Oh, you can find Whismur out here. Okay, well, let's catch it then. Oh no, almost had it. I am going to save state because I don't want to buy more Pokeballs. And also, this is actually something you can take advantage of in Generation 3 that doesn't exist in Gen 4 and onward. Actually, no, it does exist in Gen 5, kind of. But I know that in Generation 4, I know that in Generation 4, save stating doesn't help when you throw a Pokeball, because what happens is already preset before you even select what you're going to do that turn, you know? Whereas in this game, it actually, like, decides as you're doing it or whatever, so you can load state and do stuff. I've got Whismur. Now I just need to find Abra. Oh man, if I weren't using Torchic, I would probably like to use Growlithe on my team. There we go, there's Abra. Come on, get in the Pokeball, please. Please, I ask nice. Together we shall defeat Israel. I can't do that. I'm just one. There we go. Okay. What do I call you? I'm gonna call you Dex. Like Dexter. Dexter's a smart fella. Anybody ever seen Dexter's Laboratory? Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to save the game, and then I'm going to go into, real quick, I'm going to go into PK Hex. Boom. I'm going to open up a save game. Wow. Emeralds 8. Very good. All right, Party. Rash. That's actually pretty good, I think. I like that. Let's do 252, and then I will divide your remaining EVs. I think. Hold on. Smallgun.com. And I'm going to search for Exploud. Movesets available. They usually run a fast variant. Interesting. Oh yeah, because its stats aren't that great. Well, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run a bulky variant. I'm gonna have 130 defense and 128 HP. How about that? That way you can take a hit. Physically, anyways. Defense up, special defense down. Not sure I like that so much. This nature is fine, but this one needs. So instead, I'll give you... What nature does this have? Mild. I'll give you a mild. That I can work with. And then Abra is pretty standard fare. You just do a little something like this, and then that, and then set, and then we're good. Export save. Emeralds 8. Very good. Done. Launch the game. Go back in, and then we see our Pokemon. Oops. Psy is now still Rash, and Dex is mild. So, I think that concludes what I was gonna do this this stream. I'm gonna switch these two actually out front, so I can level grind them next time. But until then, thanks for watching the stream. Shoutouts to that guy Akashi again. Thank you to the 3 people who followed me before stream: Open Brian, Mouthface69, Flicky SP, and R.I.P. Bozo to the one guy that I banned earlier. I'm gonna find somebody to raid, even though it was only 1 viewer stream. That's alright. That's alright. It was a good stream. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna spread the love a little. Also, I'm surprised that I never got to talk about the sticker on my forehead. Kind of wild. Anyways. Melee in the morning? Blubathon. Plup seems like he's up to some interesting stuff. Let's kick it over to Plup. Raid Plup. Yeah, let's see what he's doing.